These are 13 lessons that I learned being a playboy. Growing up, I had very little success with girls, but over the last 4 years, I became a playboy and had tons of success living out my wildest dreams. These are my 13 most valuable lessons about women and social dynamics that I've learned in my journey. Starting with the first one, which is that the more emotions you can make a girl feel, the more addicted she'll be to you. So this is a mistake I made in my first relationship. So this was 4 years ago, before I became a playboy or before I had any success with girls. I ended up getting into a relationship with a really hot Swedish girl. And the thing is, my mindset around this was very fear and insecurity based, because I was a naive young kid who, like I said, I didn't really have any success with girls. And then all of a sudden I have this hot girlfriend and I'm just like, I want to hold on to her. I want to keep her. Like, I don't want to lose her. And everything I did was with that fear-based mindset. So I never wanted to argue. I never wanted to enforce the boundaries that I truly wanted. And everything I did was very much just people-pleasing focus, just trying to be a nice, easygoing guy. And as you can imagine, this didn't go too well for me. Within 3 months, I got my heart broken and she broke up with me. Now, I think it was a year ago, I was hanging out with another 10 out of 10 Swedish girl. She was 27. I was 22 at the time. And this is another very attractive girl, to the point where I get like a little infatuated with her, and that's rare for me. So this time around, we were seeing each other, we were hanging out one night, we were in bed talking, and we had a little bit of a heated argument. And it was around like gender roles and like kitchen stuff and cleaning. And she got mad. She had a little bit of a snappy attitude, and she got mad about it. And I just started laughing. I literally just started laughing. I'm just dying laughing. She's like, "Why are you laughing?" And I'm just like, "You're cute. You look cute when you're mad." And then she starts smiling, and I'm able to play it off, and then we laugh and we joke a little bit, and I diffuse the situation through communication. So the lesson of the story here, and the whole moral of the story, is that you should not try and just people please, be a nice guy, or think that that's gonna help you in any way, shape, or form. The most confident, secure guys are the ones who enforce boundaries, are the ones who say what they want, are the ones who are smooth and confident and just cool all around. So when you can truly embrace and be that type of guy, you will see the results be day and night. And one of the things that's really allowed me to become this guy has been learning communication. So for that reason, I made every single one of you my high-level communication guide, breaking down all my communicative strategies that allowed me to be so successful as a playboy. And it's completely for free. It's the first thing in the description below. And lesson number 2 is lie. There's an age-old saying that goes, men fall for what they see, women fall for what they hear. This is why women wear makeup. And this is why, as a man, you need to lie a little bit. Because if you say the right thing, a woman's going to like it, just as a man's going to like a woman who wears some makeup and looks a little bit prettier than the one without the makeup. And this is so true. So let me give you an example. Earlier this summer, I met this girl who was studying law and politics, and she was very interested in asking me about my opinions about the American politics. But from my experience as a playboy, I know that this is a one-way ticket to end things real quick. So especially when you're trying to just get to know a girl, you're just meeting her for the first time, or if you just want to bring her home, this is not the time to be talking about your controversial takes or the kind of like no-go subjects. Like, there's certain things that, if you don't know already, you'll figure it out quick because you'll lose the girls that you could have brought home, that you just don't talk about. I'll give you another example. So this was about like 3 years ago at this point. My friend came to Sweden with me for the summer, and we met this girl who was gorgeous. We both agreed that she was like the most beautiful girl we've ever seen, and we have different types. And when we were talking to her, she was also doing this bullshit about like politics, but she also asked about abortion. What are our abortion opinions? And this is before I kind of was, really learned this lesson. And I was just there like, I don't know. I was stuttering. I was choking up. I was like, I don't know what to say. And then my friend comes in, he saves it with like, he goes, "It should be the woman's choice." And then she was like best friends with him. She was a little mad at me for not responding with that like right off the bat. She was a little more, taken towards him. And she was like, yes, women should choose, yes, oh my God. And I was like, bro, how did you know what to say? And he was like, you just have to tell them what they want to hear. And I was like, fuck, why didn't I say that? I could have gotten that 10 out of 10 girl if I just fucking knew this fucking lesson. And so I've learned it, obviously, at this point. Like I told you, I brought home that girl from earlier this summer who was studying law and politics because I just didn't say my opinions on the subject and I just diverted the question or said what she wanted to hear. So lying is very powerful. And lesson number 3 is gonna be pretty controversial. So you're only gonna be able to read women once you've slept with a bunch of them. There is an analogy that I like, which is if I asked you to go and grab me the best apple, and you go out and try 1, 2, maybe 3 apples, you don't know shit about apples. But if you went out and tried 100, 200 apples from all over the world, you're gonna be able to bring me a damn good apple because you've tried so many of them. And it's the same with anything in life. The more experience that you have, the more you're gonna see things that you otherwise just wouldn't have seen. So this has been so true. Year after year, I start seeing little things in girls that I just otherwise wouldn't have if I haven't been a playboy, if I didn't stay single and play the field this long. It's allowed me to gain a very deep intuition. When I tell you that my intuition is almost like 99% spot on. I can have a gut feeling as to whether a girl's gonna stand me up, whether I'm gonna sleep with a girl that night, whether things would go on and I'll see her multiple times. I have like a very deep intuition for these things because you'll be able to pick up on the little tells between nonverbal communication, how she speaks, her tonality, the way she acts with you, and you can compare it to so many different girls, and it's like all little data points in your mind that you have as reference to kind of, make judgment calls. And it's extremely powerful to do this so that you can make the right move, say the right thing, and without it, you're just not gonna be as smooth and as good of a playboy or just as good with women overall if you didn't have that sort of experience. And lesson number 4 is that girls hate to be ignored. So when a girl likes or loves a man, if he ignores her, this is the worst thing for a girl. Girls hate this. I cannot tell you how many times I've ignored a girl for whatever reason. Maybe I've been sleeping with her for a bit, but I found a better one or whatever has happened, and I've kind of started to ignore a girl. That girl will go on to spread rumors about you, she'll block you, she'll remove you from Snap, she'll be all upset and petty, and do all sorts of things just because you ignored her. Ignoring a girl is like the worst thing for a girl, especially if she likes you. And you'll sometimes see how girls act crazy. I'm pretty sure most of you guys have, at some point in your life, just maybe left a girl undelivered or opened and just seen how she's gotten so annoyed or she's like snapped you or texted you something or whatever has happened because of it. And you just got to understand that this is extremely powerful. And it also ties back into one of the earlier lessons, the first one of, the more emotions you can make a girl feel, the more she'll be addicted to you. Ignoring a girl and making her feel mad or jealous or whatever emotion comes along with that exactly at that time is better than feeling just good and always being on her phone. So you can use that for your advantage. And now the next lesson is that if you want a good relationship, the best thing you could do is be a playboy. Because here's the thing, you got to understand that girls in the modern day are getting tons and tons of attention from the age of like 14, 15. There is guys constantly in their phone, texting them, talking to them in person. And as a result, they're learning game. They're kind of learning how to navigate the dating world, how to deal with men, how to get what they want. And for a lot of guys, especially like myself, I didn't get any of that experience until the first exposure was 17, but that was like little to none. And having like still in that phase, like years of nothing. And then finally at 19 is when I had that first relationship and then really made the switch and became a playboy. And then in the last 4 years, gained all this knowledge. But the thing is, you got to realize that girls, if a girl's my age, say 23, she's been getting this sort of experience now for almost a decade. I got 4 years and I've learned all this, but the girl's been doing this for about, 10 years. That's insane. She's got all this knowledge and experience from so many different guys, being able to try so many different things. And if she's got half a brain on her, she's going to have learned quite a bit. So that is why I really feel it's super important for guys to get as much experience as possible so you can level the playing field. So you're not going to get absolutely wrecked when you meet a girl who has been with, let's say, 10, 15 guys, and you've only been with 3 girls. You're not going to know the same shit that she's going to know. She's going to just absolutely wreck you in so many different ways. So it's really important that you play the field a little bit if you want a good relationship. Also going back to the earlier example of being able to read girls and being able to pick a good one, that's also going to be much better when you have a bit of experience as well. So there's so many reasons why it is advantageous to be a playboy before you actually settle down and have a real relationship. And lesson number 6 is emotional intelligence is the key to winning girls over. So I went to Norway for a month in April, and the first night that I went out, I ended up hanging out with this girl and going back to her place for an after party. So at this point, we'd already been chatting with each other. We had some drinks off apart from everyone else we were hanging out with, really getting to connect to each other. And later when I asked her at that after party, what's one of the most attractive things you find in a man? And she said emotional intelligence beyond just initial looks. So once you get your foot in the door, the next key thing to really winning a girl over is emotional intelligence. If you can't form a connection with a girl, if you're just dumb as a doornail and you have no ability to connect with someone, you're not gonna get very far. If you're just relying on your looks, you could have all the looks in the world, but you will lose so many girls due to the fact that you cannot connect with them on a deeper level. And even if you weren't the most attractive, but you really could draw out that connection, you will succeed so much more. So emotional intelligence should not be underestimated. It is extremely powerful. And lesson number 7 is that the disciplined men always win. And this is in almost every realm of life that allows you to build up to be the man that gets the girl. So whether it's with fitness, going to the gym when you don't feel like it, whether it's working on your business so you can develop a cool lifestyle that girls find attractive, or if it's simply just something like going up and talking to a girl when you feel nervous, that is discipline. You have to go and act against your emotions and your feelings and push yourself out of your comfort zone so that you can get the results that you want. So if you're a disciplined man in every single realm, you can basically guarantee that you will have success with girls because you're going to be the guy that pushes yourself more than the next guy. And you're going to be the one who actually develops yourself into that man that girls find irresistibly attractive. I cannot stress how much discipline has been the core theme in the last 4 years of me becoming the man that I've become today. It all started at 19 when I cut out all the instant gratification activities, incorporated the delayed gratification ones like reading, meditating, gratitude journaling, and I've been doing those ever since. And that is where a lot of my personal development has come from and allowed me to become the attractive individual I am. Going back to emotional intelligence, a lot of that's come from reading books, developing myself, talking to people, taking on sales jobs, starting businesses, learning a lot about, social skills and all these things has allowed me to become the attractive individual I am today, along with the fitness and, building an attractive lifestyle, improving myself in many different ways. Discipline is the core theme in it. So the thing that I've noticed is the disciplined guys, not just me, but others, are the ones who have the most success. It's really that simple. And the next lesson is the more you want a girl, the harder it becomes to get her. Detachment is really the key. And the way to be detached easily is to have abundance. And you have abundance by either seeing multiple girls or at least talking to multiple girls. This is really going to be key so that you don't get too attached to any one of them. And you can operate from that place of abundance and detachment, which really changes the game. And you'll see when you truly, truly have detachment and abundance, girls will start chasing you. This has happened to me on multiple occasions because in my journey, I've gone from moving to different countries and different places. So I'll go from a high of having like a bunch of girls I'm seeing and go to a new place and have absolutely nothing. And I see these dynamics change in real time. It's not just been smooth sailing for me. I've had to start from scratch literally like 10, 15 times in these last 4 years of building up the pipeline of girls I'm seeing, all this stuff. I'll move somewhere and have to start fresh. And I really have noticed these things. And it's like usually by the end of a place that I'm staying at, the level of abundance and attachment I have is extreme. So a lot of the time I'll get with the most amount of girls towards the end. A lot of this stuff is mental and it changes the way that girls see you. Your energy is just different. It's hard to explain. And some of you may not understand what I'm saying or believe it, but I swear to God, after experiencing it time and time again, it is very true. And lesson number 9 is really important, which is that attention is your most valuable currency. But the thing is, there's a caveat, which is that girls only value the attention of guys who they like, love, or respect. So if you're a simp in a girl's phone constantly giving her attention, it doesn't mean anything to her. She really doesn't care. She's just using you so that she doesn't have to feel bored. But if you're the guy that a girl likes, loves, or respects, you can just text her, set up a date, hang out with her, and then sleep with her. And it's not that difficult. And your attention should be the thing that you prioritize most. You shouldn't just be giving endless amounts of attention away to girls for no reason. And this is not really going to get you very far. There's many times where I've tried this within reason. I'm not obviously a simp or anything like that, but I've tried to put in more attention, trying to get girls, work it. And really it just comes down to realizing whether a girl likes you and then taking it from there, because you're never going to convince a girl to like you who doesn't like you. This is the biggest waste of time that you can do, is just try and like force things to happen when they're not going to happen. This is why nowadays when I go up and talk to girls, if I can't see that they like me within the first 15, 30 seconds of me talking to them, I'll just leave and say it was nice to meet you and go and talk to some other girls until I find one who does like me, because the interaction's completely different. There's a different vibe and energy that you can just pick up on and feel when a girl does like you. And that's where I like to invest my time, is with people who reciprocate the energy back. And it's genuinely that simple. And the next lesson is there's two things that you need to get girls, which is attraction and communication. So basically, without one or the other, it's going to be very difficult for you. But if you have both, you're going to succeed with ease. So when I was younger, I had attraction. When I was 18, 19, I pretty much looked how I look now. I had the same face, just, a little bit younger looking. And just a less muscular body. I've bulked up and added more mass over the years, but I was ripped, I had muscle, I had a six-pack. I had the attraction factor, but I lacked communication. And this is why I struggled. Whereas now I have both and I do really well. But the thing is, if you have communication, let's say, but you lack attraction, it's also going to be really difficult for you to get your foot in the door. So it's really a key between having both of these. And when it comes to attraction, I mean, it basically just gets broken down between your face, your body, your style, your lifestyle. Those are the sorts of things that can actually make you attractive to girls. And then on the communication side, it's about just being a dynamic communicator, being smooth with your words, saying the right thing, knowing when to throw in a little lie so that you make sure you say the right thing. These little things really add up. So once again, don't forget about that high-level communication guide. It's going to be the first thing in the description below. But genuinely, if you need to break it down, it's only those two things that will really lead you to having all the success that you want. There's not too much else that you really need to get girls. And lesson number 11 is actually really important, and a lot of guys underestimate the value of this, which is that your friends speak a lot about you, and they will either bring you up or drag you down. And this is really true. So there's plenty of guys who I've met on the spur of a moment, on a night out, hanging out with them, who did not want to talk to girls. They were just like, nah, man, I'm not going to talk to girls. I don't want to go talk to her. I'm just like, cool, you hang out here. I'm going to go talk to her by myself. I'd rather roll alone than hang out with lames. And on the opposite side of things, if you hang around guys who are chatting to girls and they're bringing you up and they're bringing out the best in you, you'd be surprised what you can accomplish. And I did this with two of the guys who I met this year. So you don't need to be the best, most charismatic, smooth guy with girls to hang out with me. But as long as you show that you're at least willing to put yourself out there, that you have courage, that you have some confidence, then I'll fucking show you the ropes. Because this summer, two of my friends, they didn't really go around and chat to as many girls as I talked to. Yeah, they might end up in a conversation or two. But like when I'm out, if there's girls, I'm talking until there's no more girls to talk to. So this summer, one night, me and my friend genuinely spoke to like 50 plus girls in a night. And earlier I was telling him, I was like, how many girls we're gonna talk to tonight? He's like, yeah, we'll talk to a couple. I was like, no, we're gonna talk to 200. He goes, what are you saying, 200? I was like, yeah, 200. We're gonna talk to 200 girls tonight, you and me. And he was like, okay. And at the end of the night, we joked and he was like, bro, I think we almost hit 200. And I was like, I know, man. We talked to so many girls. And I brought out the best in these two guys. I did this with another friend as well. And he was just out there chatting to all these girls. And they both told me, they're, at other pre-parties and stuff after we've done this, they're like, holy shit, man, I would have never talked to this many girls if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't have slept with that girl and brought her home if I wasn't out there just pushing myself so much. I would have never done this. And they're like, thank you, man, for pushing me. And I was like, absolutely. So that's the power of friendship. You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So you want to spend time with guys who are successful with girls, and it's going to rub off on you. You're going to start to pick up on the things that they do. All the friends I'm with, what do guys talk about? They talk about girls, they talk about money, they talk about fucking cars, cool stuff. And girls, I'm basically mentoring my friends all the time. I'm just giving them free fucking mentorship because they're hanging around me. And when they ask me a question about, what do I do with girls or how do I do this or that, I'm giving them all the free game. So the easiest way to level up is to hang around guys who are having success. That's the ultimate cheat code. And lesson number 12 is that most attraction is built non-verbally. When you receive the choosing signals like eye contact and a smile, that is everything that you need from a girl to go up and talk to her. And if you don't, you're a pussy. That is all that you need, is just to see some eye contact and smile. I tell you, I'll catch like the slightest eye contact in the corner of the room and I'll be running over there and chatting to that girl. And I have that level of optimism and positivity where it's like, oh yeah, damn, she finds me attractive. Let me go chat to her. And I come in with my smile and my eye contact and my positive, warmth, body language. And all of a sudden, everything's going good. So you got to act on those choosing signals that you receive. And another thing too is like when you're actually talking to girls, once you're, getting past that just like intro stage, a lot of the attraction once again is going to be built through your eye contact and your smile. Eye contact is something you should hold with basically everyone you hang out with, but there's a special seductive look that you can create when you're looking at a girl. It's that very like soft eyes, and it's a nice warm smile. And when you look at a girl with that look and you just stare into her eyes whilst you're talking and you have that smile and you're talking to her and whatever, it's just something about it. I don't know how to explain it, but I call it the seductive look. I don't know, maybe that's what it's called, maybe it's got a different name, I don't know. But that's basically where most of the attraction is built. I'm not out here really doing too much besides being extremely seductive in my nonverbal communication, having the courage to go and talk to girls, chatting to them, saying the right things, and it leads to a bunch of success. And the last lesson is that timing is one of the most important factors. So this is why you're gonna get rejected a bunch in your journey of chatting to girls, is because the timing might be off. See, most of the girls I talk to probably find me attractive to some degree. It's just that the timing isn't right. She either has a boyfriend, she has a situationship, she just got into an argument with her friends or her parents. There's all these little things that are going on in a girl's personal reality that can cause her to not want to talk to you and engage in conversation or see you as someone who she wants to sleep with or date or anything like that. And I'll give you an example. I met this girl a couple weeks ago when I was out at my friend's at this bar. She walks in and she's gorgeous, 10 out of 10 Swedish girl, blonde hair, blue eyes, my perfect type. And I just go up and chat to her and we're, I can see that she likes me. I can see this in her eyes. But then she tells me when I ask for her snap that she's got kind of like a boyfriend situationship type of thing going on. So she was like, I don't want to be disrespectful, so no snap. And I was like, all right, well, what about Instagram? Let's just keep in touch. It's just a little bit less personal. We'll just follow each other, see how it goes. And she was open to it. But the thing is, this didn't really go anywhere because she had that. And when she saw my Instagram and we got each other, she was like, you're beautiful, right? Like she said that. She found me very attractive. It's just that the timing wasn't right. In another, parallel universe where she was single and it was the right time, I could have 100% gotten her. But it just wasn't the right time. It doesn't mean that it's a rejection. It just means that the timing was off. And in this case, she was very, extremely nice to me. She really liked me and she was super kind and we had a nice conversation, whatever, but it just didn't go anywhere. But there's times where you'll get outright rejected. But the thing is, it's usually not personal. And sometimes those girls could even find you attractive. It's not the right time. So once again, high-level communication is going to be the key that's going to allow you to separate yourself from everybody else, and being a dynamic communicator is absolutely essential if you want to be a playboy and you want to have a ton of success with girls. So for that reason, I built you guys my guide. It breaks down everything between verbal, nonverbal, mindset things. It's super important and valuable, and it's completely for free. It's the first link in the description below. You guys can grab that now.